Hi, I'm Sarah. Welcome back to my channel where I talk about my journey to sustainable health and meaningful success. If you're coming back and you've already subscribed, welcome back. Y'all are my people and I love you so much. And if you're new, I hope you'll consider subscribing by the end of this video. In the United States, we recently celebrated Juneteenth on June 19th, and we're about to celebrate Independence Day on July 4th. But today, being July 2nd, 2020, I am celebrating 1 year of being free from Amway. If you are unfamiliar with my story, I hope that you will check out some of my Amway videos. I definitely go into further detail of all of the different things that I was processing through and all of the extreme control, emotional manipulation, psychological manipulation that I was under in this very cult-like atmosphere. I actually do consider it a cult. And when I left Amway, I was completely drained of everything. The only reason why I quit, though, was because I was actually starting to bald on the back of my head from stress. But by the time I left, I was drained financially, emotionally, spiritually, and physically just deteriorating. I think that the topic of personal liberation is something that we all can probably relate to in some way or another. Either it's in relationships with, romantic partners or friends or family, or in our jobs, or just in our general life routines. A lot of things can start to feel really imprisoning. And in this last year of freedom, I have learned a lot of different things, and I kind of went through 4 different seasons within this past year that I want to share with you because I think that people could get something from it. So the first season that I went through after leaving Amway was self-destruction. And I would not advise people taking this road, but I just completely nosedived into the ground. I started reading because everything that I had read for the past 2.5 years was recommended to me by my upline. They controlled everything I read, listened to, all the people that I hung out with. They isolated me from my family and friends. So really, they were all I had. So when I left, I completely uprooted my entire life by leaving them. And so the first book that I grabbed off the shelf was this book. And that did not really help my mental state, because it's not that I wouldn't recommend this book, but it's just, it's pretty dark, and I don't agree with everything that it says, but it was just a lot to process after leaving a cult. Then I got into a really toxic relationship that drained me of even more emotions and even more resources. And then I got pregnant from that, and then I miscarried my baby. And so by the end of August, I was just broken. I was broken. And so then I went into the second season, and the second season I think is really important to people who've literally just uprooted themselves from a major situation that was holding them back and keeping them captive, and that is to regroup. You have to regroup. You can't just keep going through life acting like everything is normal or okay, because if you just got out of a terrible situation, you don't know what's normal and you don't know what is okay. So regrouping is really important. I developed a budget to pay off debt and to financially discipline myself, because now that I wasn't in a cult, I had my entire income at my disposal again. So I had to develop some sort of boundary for myself in that respect. I also started identifying my tribe, the people who were going to be at my side, they'll have my back, and they have been with me throughout this entire year. And those are my parents, my brothers, my grandparents, all of my friends, Itzel, Siobhan, Sarah, Lauren, Eileen, literally all of these people, everybody at the table. I'm trying to name all these people, but basically everybody in my current social circle. If you guys are in my life and I choose to spend time with you, it's because you guys are the realest. And I honestly don't know where I would be at this point this year if it hadn't been for you guys really pushing me and meeting me where I was at. And I think that that has been so invaluable to me. So I just want to say thank you. And to people who are regrouping, I think identifying your tribe and identifying the people who are going to actually like ride or die, be with you, yeah, that's invaluable. Like, that should be your number one goal, is to identify who you can surround yourself with that is going to build you up and have your best interest at heart. And also, you can start gathering more resources that actually build your mind and start spurring you on to pursue your goals. So someone that I really found a lot of like online mentorship with is Amy Landino. I've mentioned her a couple times, but she was the person that I started watching on YouTube a little bit before I left Amway, actually, and I started realizing that I could go after the life I want, and I could really just like do this. I could do things my way and succeed. And so reading her books, Vlog Like a Boss, and then Good Morning, Good Life, and being a part of her online community offered me the mentorship that I was so desperately seeking in Amway, but it was actually effective at helping me get closer to my personal goals. So I think that in part of regrouping is to identify people who could actually get you closer to where you want to be in an ambition sense as well. I went to a bunch of doctor's appointments. I saw my primary care. I established a primary care physician, went to my gynecologist, went to a specialist to see about my balding, and then I also started seeing a therapist, which I've done a video about that, and that is one of the biggest things that I could recommend to anybody who's going through a major life change, and you don't even know how that shock is going to affect you mentally or your life decisions. But it's almost like you just need you need a professional to kind of guide you through decisions that you don't even know where you could misstep. And I think that that comes with a tremendous amount of self-awareness on your part, to know that you don't know what's normal and you don't know what's okay. And honestly, for me, it was like after miscarrying, I honestly didn't know if one day I could just snap and end up on the cover of a newspaper for committing some tragic crime or something, because literally I didn't know my own capabilities at that point, and I didn't even know how deep that grief was within me. And it's totally fine to know that you don't have all of the resources straight up front, but to get help either professionally or just building your tribe is so key. The last thing I did in regrouping was I decluttered all of the things that would remind me of pain, past pain, all of the pictures and all of the calendar reminders, every single item that I had gotten or had reminded me of Amway, I put in a box and I gave it to my parents to store in their basement because I didn't need that in front of me. I did eventually go back and revisit and do a post-mortem on those relationships, and I did a video on that going through my Amway box, but it doesn't have to be immediate and it doesn't have to be in front of your face all the time. The third thing that I did after self-destructing and then regrouping was I reconnected. I reconnected with my family over the phone or on holidays. It was right before the holidays that I really started intentionally spending time with people. And I also reconnected with a lot of friends. I went on a lot of friend dates. I mean, I drank a lot of coffee and I had a lot of Panera to start, and just catching up with old pals who were going to help me through this stage. And also, I had to apologize to a lot of people. I had to apologize to my family and friends. And then I made an apology video to apologize to my entire network. I also had to do a tremendous amount of work to reconnect with myself. And that was a lot of alone time, crocheting, painting, journaling. I did Whole30 and reconnected with my relationship with food, and just do a lot of things to intentionally bring myself to a greater awareness of what I actually want out of my life and what I actually like in general. It was like dating myself. I had to discover what kind of music that I liked, which thank you all for all of your music suggestions from the last video. And if you have more, drop them down below. But Like I had to rediscover what I liked on TV, what I liked to read, what I was interested in, and what I was passionate about, and where I actually wanted to take my life further. I had to reconnect with all of that for myself because I was just so disconnected when I was in the relationships that I was in Amway. Lastly, I have had to do a little bit of effort in reconnecting with the Lord, and I honestly can't say that I'm like 100% there. It's a journey, it's a relationship, so it's never really an end destination anyway. But when I first left Amway, I didn't really know if the God that I had been serving was the voice of all the Amway people, or my own thoughts, or if I was actually connected with God. And then after miscarrying, I just kind of, like, that connection was totally broken. And so reconnecting with God and reconnecting with my beliefs, like spiritually, has been pretty labor intensive, I'm gonna be honest. And there's probably a lot more labor that I have yet to do in that regard. But it's something that I had to acknowledge that, okay, you know, I had lost a lot of connections with a lot of people and with myself, but also that which is greater, you know? But the fourth season that I have been in this past year is taking charge. So I self-destructed, I regrouped, I reconnected, and now I'm in the phase of taking charge of my life and where I want to go in the future. And that has looked like getting a new job and developing further financial discipline and building a savings and building some investments and all of that. So furthering my career in that way, but also starting my YouTube channel and finally just doing the thing, like just doing what scared me, but also has been the most fulfilling thing of this year, is being able to talk with you guys about all of the things that I have processed through since leaving Amway. Also, just really taking charge of my health goals, and I had a lot of exciting results in my June health update. And it's just really starting to snowball, and those small, seemingly insignificant changes are starting to produce a lot of great results, and I'm really excited about that. And then I'm going back to school to become a health and life coach, and I never really had even thought that that was going to be something that I was really passionate about, but just within this past year of realizing how much guidance I could have used at the beginning of leaving Amway, but then kind of muddling through this past year, but having a tremendous amount of support while going through all of these things, and having a tribe and having a squad like y'all, I think that that is the most tremendously impactful thing that I could do. And I'm excited to take my career and to take everything that I'm doing in that direction and actually spreading love, joy, and peace every single day. I'm super psyched. So I wanted to share that with you, that even though I self-destructed in the beginning, I regrouped, I reconnected, and then I'm taking charge. And I think that that's possible for anybody who really wants to take a stand for themselves and liberate themselves from anything that is holding you back from achieving what you want to achieve and becoming the person that you want to become. Anything is possible if you actually apply yourself to it. You don't just have to believe it's possible, but then take action. And sometimes that just means standing up for yourself, setting boundaries, saying no to other people if they're demanding something that is not in your best interest and not what you want to do. It's your own life, honey. Liberate yourself. Anyway, I love you guys so much. I hope that this brings a little bit of light and peace and hope to you, that, man, you could be in a really bad situation, but you can really pull yourself out of it and pull yourself by your bootstraps. Not alone. Get yourself a tribe. Get yourself a squad. Do what you need to do. Happy Liberation Day to y'all. It's been good. It's been good, you know? Thank you guys for being here with me. It's been quite a ride, you know? And we're just getting started. So, okay. Bye.